cuckoo starts in 3, 2, 1. Hey y'all, it's me again, back at it for round 2 of my little cuckoo stories. Couple things. One, I'm gonna try my best to not smack my lips as much as I did last week, because I didn't realize I did that until I was watching that video and I was like, ooh, stop. But it was too late and I was gonna post that video because I worked hard on that. 2, I'm gonna try also to upload twice a week if my children will allow me. It's hard out here, y'all, and if y'all hear some screaming and crying in the back of this video, it is what it is, because this like take 132, and I want to upload this video because it's Monday again. So today we are going to talk about Miss Heidi Van Tassel. Now, Miss Heidi is not the victim, is not the criminal. She's actually the victim in this story. But we're going to talk about her because we got her point of the story, y'all. And we hear it from her perspective. We don't hear too much from the criminal, who is Mr. Jere. It's Jere. I'm thinking it's Jere. He's going to be Jere for the sake of this story. So, Miss Heidi went out to eat to her favorite Thai restaurant on Hollywood Boulevard with some of her friends. And then when she was leaving, walking all happily and full, with her leftovers in hand, I presume. I don't know, but I always have leftovers when I leave a restaurant. So she walking out, and she chirp chirp unlocks her car door, opens it up, and she says she heard some footsteps coming at her real fast. So she turned around, and it's a homeless man running at her full speed. And I'm picturing dude from Get Out, like, you know, fast dude. So she turns around, she see this man. Next thing you know, he pushes her in the car twice. I don't know, like, that's how I'm picturing it in my head. And then he pulls her out by her shirt. And then he proceeds to throw a bucket of hot, warm liquid over her head. She doesn't know what it is. So she's trying to keep her mouth closed because she don't want to inhale or ingest this hot, warm liquid. She said her first thoughts were, oh my God, it's acid. So she's screaming, she's freaking out. Oh my God, somebody help, help. Now, y'all remember them videos on Maury back in the day when folks used to go around throwing acid on people? Like, first of all, where you get acid? Rhetorical question. I don't know where you, like, a normal person is going to get acid from. But people out here getting acid. That's all I'm saying. Hey, folks, stop selling acid on the streets or in the stores unless folks need it. I don't know. Back to the story. She thinks it's acid, but it's not. Now let's go to Jere's perspective. Jere running down the street with this bucket. He sees Heidi, and he's like, I'm gonna get her. So he bump, bop, pull, bop, drops the bucket over top her head. This hot, warm liquid that is not acid. It's diarrhea. He poured his hot, warm doo-doo juice all over this lady's head, y'all. She said it was dripping from her eyes and her eyelashes because it was so much, and it was even splattering up in her car. Now, I don't know if she had those leftovers that I was talking about, but I don't think she gonna eat them. She gonna leave them where they at. This Good Samaritan couple sees Miss Heidi, and she's screaming out for help. So they pull over, help get her to the side of the road, because I'm assuming she couldn't open up her eyes and see because she had her doo-doo blinders on. So, get her to the side of the road. They call 911, and maybe the call went something like this. Hello, 911. It's a dookie-covered lady in the middle of the street on Hollywood Boulevard, and she needs some help. So, police get there. They bring the ambulances. They bring the firemen, the whole 911 squad. So, also, I just want to say, because it's just popped in my head, I don't know if I would have been that good of a Samaritan. Like, maybe I could have just told her, go to the right, keep going, step up, it's a curve right there. But I don't know if I would have grabbed her hand and led her to the side of the road, because the transferability of dookie is real. And I wouldn't have wanted no stranger dookie on me. That's just me. But I would have maybe called the police for her, but Sorry, Heidi. You can figure it out. You've been blindfolded before. Just listen to the directions. So 911 pulls her to the side, and they put up what I think is called a U-ring. It's one of them big inflatable things that they use for folks in house fires, so they can jump out the window and boing, 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 you know. So they put that around her to give her a little privacy, and they hose her down to get all that doodle juice up off her, which is great. Because as I was reading this story, the first thing I was thinking was, bruh, how she get it off? Because that's a whole nother. I told you I got kids, and sometimes I get throw up on me, and I be trying to do the neck sucking thing when I'm taking my shirt off, so the throw up won't get, you know, all up in me and on me, and that's hard. So at least they hosed it off of her. I mean, I'm sure she was stained, but at least she ain't had the chunks just, you know, that whole situation going on. I had to making jokes about this, y'all, telling the firemen that, oh, y'all hosing me down like Meryl Streep. Like, I just would have been crying. I wouldn't have found any humor for forever after that. That would have been it. So they hose her down. The paramedics later said that there was so much diarrhea that man dumped on her head that it looked like he had been saving it up for a month. Now let's talk about it. That homeless man won't walk around with a bucket of diarrhea for a month. Because one, if he was, it wouldn't have been warm. And two, why would he? And three, ew. That's 1, 2, and 3. That's it. That's the whole count. I really only had one, but I wanted to add the other ones in there. So, yeah. Police talked to Heidi, and they said, well, do you know where he is? She says, yes. He's right there. There's the doodoo bandit that poured the hot, wet diarrhea all over my head. And Jere just standing across the street, y'all. Jere ain't try to flee the scene. Jere ain't try to run, walk, skip. He was just chilling across the street. Like, maybe pretending to be a light pole. Like, if I do this, they won't notice me. It didn't work, though. They found Jere. They booked Jere. They took Jere to jail. Jere didn't get no time, though, because they ended up finding Jere unfit to stand trial because he's schizophrenic. Which is, that makes sense. A lot of folks think that, you know, people choose to be homeless, which is stupid. But most folks that are homeless are either just, you know, had a very rough life. It's things completely beyond their control. They are addicted to drugs. They have some kind of mental illness. That's what the majority of it usually is. So they sent him back on the street because he was unfit to stand trial. So Heidi did not get justice. But Heidi didn't want Jere to get locked up, y'all. Heidi just wanted Jere to find some help. Now, Jere's last name, as I failed to mention, is Blessings. Maybe Mr. Jere was thinking in his head that he just wanted to pass on some blessings to somebody else. Mr. Jere, don't nobody want those blessings. You keep them blessings to yourself. Miss Heidi, keep blocking them kind of blessings. They not good for you. So, Mr. Jere, like I said, didn't go to jail. They ended up putting him back on the street. Which I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Because, you know, like if somebody get caught with a gun, they take the gun and they'll like take their rights to buy another gun. They can't buy no bullets or nothing like that. But being that Jere is a human and his weapon of choice is Dookie, he got infinite ammo. So he can load up all over again if he want to. Whenever he want to. That boy keep that Lowe's bucket ready. Do you hear me? He stay strapped. So, I'm sorry, Jere. Also, I'm not making fun of nobody that's mentally ill. But you not finna sit here and act like this story is any less funny because he is schizophrenic. Maybe the voices in Jere's head was telling him that he needed to go doodle tag somebody. And he did what the voices was telling him. Which, you know, I ain't never been schizophrenic. You probably ain't either. So you don't know how it is. But I took psychology and they say it's real. So if you hear those voices, you know, you scared of what's going to happen if you don't do. So if they said, Jere go doodle tat that lady, then Jere went to do what them voices said, and he went to go doodle tat that lady. But here's my theory. Is it true? I don't know. But it's my theory. So, like I said, Jere homeless. So maybe some good folks went to eat at the Thai restaurant and they came out, they had some leftovers. They saw Jere sitting there. Homeless usually equals hungry. So they gave Jere their leftovers. If you never had Thai food before, Thai food can be a little spicy. Maybe Jere didn't think about that. So he busted down. Next thing you know, Jere got a rumbling in his tumbler. So he like, I gotta let it out. It's hard not to be nasty telling this story, y'all. So he had to let it out. So maybe he just looked around. The first thing he saw was a bucket, and he went in the bucket. And let's say he grabbed the bucket and he looked back out the street like, where those folks go? They trying to poison me. And the first person he saw was Heidi. Maybe Heidi looked like the same person that gave him the food. So he went to get revenge. That is my way of justifying Jere's actions. Is it true? I told you I don't know. Don't keep asking me. But that's what happened. Now, I stalked Heidi on Instagram, and I found a lot of posts talking about this situation. I will say that I do admire the fact that Heidi did not one time use this as a we need to get the homeless people off the street type of thing. She just completely, every time that I read her speaking about it, said that they need help. These homeless people need help. That's especially the mentally ill ones. They need help. You can't just put folks on the street, especially if they have some kind of mental issues, and think that they're going to be able to fend for themselves, because they're not. She never said arrest him. She never said lock him up, throw him under the jail, throw away the key. Never said any of that. And so for respect, Heidi. Respect. I like the way you move. Now, Heidi has PTSD from this whole incident, which rightfully so. I honestly don't know how I would go about functioning after this. And then, like, I told y'all it's hard not to be nasty telling this story. So what if she had her leftovers and it starts splattering and it got all in her food and now she can't eat it? Or like, what if she had a rumbling in her tumbler and she was trying to hurry up and get home, and he done poured all this hot, warm diarrhea on top of her head and her stomach already bubbling, and now you got... Ew, that's nasty. Yeah. But I saw another post on Heidi's page, and Heidi's car just got hit not too long ago. She was parked on the side of the road and somebody did a hit and run on her car. And Miss Heidi, Mama said that you give what you get, and maybe you giving the wrong thing and you getting the wrong thing in return. And maybe you need to reevaluate how you live in your life, because that's some luck, honey. You get doodle tat, cars get hit and runs. She done posted other videos or other posts about, you know, the doodle-versary. You know, it's been X amount of time since Doodle Gate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Miss Heidi. We're going to talk to Heidi first, y'all, because I want to talk to Heidi and Jere. So we're going to talk to Heidi first. Miss Heidi. You a good one, Miss Heidi. First of all, I don't think nobody would have ever seen me again, because I would have been taking a bath for the next 3 years after I got a stranger's dookie poured all over my head. Okay, and I hope also that you didn't have any fake eyelashes on that day, because if that was hot, warm, liquid diarrhea and you said it was dripping from your eyelashes, and then you had on like these, like y'all be wearing, and then like your eyelashes keep going down and they flapping everywhere, and then you trying to see and you can't because it's so heavy, and that's just a lot to deal with. But I do respect and admire the way you handled the situation, Heidi. You still talking about it, and I don't know if I would still be talking about it, but maybe I would. I don't know. I ain't never been doodle tat. I don't know. I don't judge. So, you do what you got to do. You handle situations the way that you find proper. Somebody just broke something out there, y'all. They got supervision. I'm going to keep recording this video. So anyway, I've been recording this video, side note. I've been trying to record this video for like 3-4 days, and every time my son coming in here, Mommy, can I record with you? Like, no, boy, like, mommy time. Just, I get a little bit of time a day to just sit here and talk to my phone. That's all I want. Dang, I don't ask for much. Back to the story. Heidi, that's all I got to say to you, ma'am. Jere, don't you go giving folks doo-doo baths, Jere. Don't nobody want no doo-doo bath, Jere. Keep some things you keep to yourself, okay? And you, I hope, with your infinite ammo at your disposal, that you can just, I said disposal, y'all. I meant disposal. Y'all know what I mean. And I'm not about to start this video over, so don't play with me. Infinite ammo at your disposal. I just hope that you don't do this to anybody else. Jere, you done gave Miss Heidi PTSD for years. You got the lady scared. She's scared every time she hears a story about anybody getting attacked in any kind of way. She can relate to it, and she's just fearful. And she also thinks that if you had a knife that day, you would have stabbed her. And she said that. She said, if he would have had a knife, I'm sure he would have stabbed me. Heidi, that man didn't want to stab you. He didn't want to kill you. That man wanted to give you a doo-doo bath. That's all he wanted. His goal was over. He ain't sit there and beat you up and try to drag you in the street. He doo-doo dumped and dipped. That's just what he did. So, I don't think he wanted to stab you and hurt you. But, y'all, I found out Heidi is trying to act out here. She's trying to be an actor. So maybe that's why she keep talking about this story, because she want folks to figure her out. Because when I Google her name, her little IMDb page popped right on up. And I didn't click on it because I didn't care about what she's acting in. But, yeah, she want to be an actor, y'all. Right, cute? Look at her. Go ahead, girl. But anyway, that's the story of the doo-doo gate. I was trying to do this whole little channel as calendar-like, where I talked about stories that were happening that week or that month. And I found this story, and I really thought it took place in November. But as I kept digging and I put all my stuff together, I found out it happened in the summertime, which is worse because y'all know when heat hits stink it. So she, okay. But yeah, but something happened in November because it kept popping up as November articles. And that's why after like the 4th November article, I thought that I was onto something. But this was too good for me to pass up. And there wasn't nothing else I was going to want to talk about more this week than this story right here. So this is what y'all going to get. And I'm going to come back later on in the week and drop y'all a Thanksgiving story, because I found a nice little Thanksgiving story I want to tell y'all too. But that's the story of Miss Heidi and Mr. Jere, and how they became acquaintances. I'm lying. They're not acquaintances. But that's the story of Miss Heidi and Mr. Jere. And what are y'all thoughts on that? Because I just want to know, what would you have done in your head? Because a lot of times what we say we would do is not what we actually do if the situation arises for us. We do something completely different. I don't know what I would have done with the whole doodle dump situation. I don't know. I would have thrown up. I can pretty much guarantee that. But that's it. But what would you do if somebody poured a bucket of hot, warm, liquid diarrhea over your head that was in a quantity so much that the paramedics assumed that he had been saving it for a month? What would you do? Let me know. And until next time, stay tuned.